What are we talking about? We are looking at the various consequences of marketing various biofuels on various developing countries regarding food sustainability. It is also important to consider malnutrition and not just hunger when thinking about food.
What is the significance? Biofuels are made mostly from living animal and plant matter. This decreases the availability of the food for consumers because it is used to make biofuels. Consequently, this increases the prices of these foods. Especially in developing countries with increasing populations, there isn't enough food to feed everyone. On top of that, the prices are higher, making it harder for people to buy the food when it is available. This affects both their health and economy in a negative way. Some examples of biofuel include biodiesel, made up of animal fat and vegetable oils, ethanol, made of corn, sugarcane, and other agricultural crops, and biogas, made up of animal and plant waste. Here are some statistics on the raising prices in food. Back in 2006, prices were already skyrocketing, increasing corn by 54%, wheat by 34%, soybean oil by 71%, and sugar by 75%. However, since then, the price has steadily increased due to demands for biofuels. Corn has continued to increase by 28%, while wheat has continued to increase by 35%. Here are some problems developing countries are facing. Poverty. It is estimated 1,345 million poor people in developing countries live on $1.25 a day or less. This makes it harder to buy food when all food prices are increasing due to demands for biofuel production. Health. Undernourishment due to lack of food available. And scarcity of food. With more food being used for biofuels, less is available for developing countries, which all have increasing populations.
Let's look at the relationship between food and biofuels from an environmental perspective. What are the environmental impacts? Is the benefit worth it if you consider these impacts? And could we still have affordable food? What are some environmental impacts? Well, there could be land misuse that could result. We would have less resources and land to meet food demands from developing countries, which would require increased efficiency, and there would be stress on the sustainability of water, as water is not a renewable resource.
Stakeholders involved: farmers, producers of biofuels and co-products, oil industry and the service station networks, auto industry and dealership networks, consumers, governments, national, state, and local, scientists and engineers, traders, and those that affect global stocks of staples, USA, Europe, and China. Stakeholders build up sustainable national biofuels market, promote free international trade, investment in technology and transfer, and build up sustainable global markets. Protect affected farmers, prevent exclusive dependence on agricultural crops, attempt to lower biofuels cost, promote future advances in biofuels, and maintain steady supply of competitive biofuels. Kyoto Protocol was enacted to help manage the use of biofuels in the global world. Under the Kyoto Protocol, scientists estimate that biofuels could supply 20 to 30% of global fuel demand in an environmentally responsible manner without affecting food production. This would avoid competing with the use of land for food staples. In developing countries, most poor people are net consumers of food. Food prices are just as important as food availability. Of the three main staple foods that developing countries rely on, only maize is currently used for ethanol production. The United States has enacted policies to provide financial incentives for supplying 25% of the United States energy use from renewable resources by 2025. Biofuels Initiative since 2005 assists developing countries in assessing the viability of including biofuels in their energy mix. Potential beneficial impact of biofuels on reducing imports of fossil fuels. Trade-offs with food security and development priorities. The UNCTAD implemented biofuels assessment studies for several developing countries. Ensure that benefits of expanding biofuels production are in harmony with the parallel goals of food security and poverty reduction.
Are biofuels worth it considering where things are heading? That's hard to answer, as consequences cannot always be predicted. The most important thing is to act with caution, and there are certainly many benefits of biofuels, so that is important. But there's also the idea that the earth has limited resources and there's not many more coming in. Is it possible to change how we grow food to accommodate biofuels? Well, yes, it's possible, but can we keep up with the change that comes with biofuels? Well, there's things like vertical agriculture and sustainable agriculture already out there. We need to hope for the best, but we also need to prepare for the worst. There will be consequences, good or bad. Can we adjust? It's really up to us.
Okay. Well, I guess my perspective on the issue is that farmers in general will plant what they consider to be most profitable for them. And so to the extent that utilizing corn or other products for biofuels increases the price of a given commodity like corn, that will increase then the number of people who are planting it. So that then effectively creates markets, so a biofuel market for corn, which then may tend to draw more corn toward those markets as opposed to toward food production channels, or in the case of the U.S., where surpluses of crops like corn have characterized the recent past. Now, if there's an alternative other than animal feed or for use of those products, then that's going to drive up price. It's going to reduce surpluses, which is then going to have some impact on the amount of corn grain that's available for use for food or for shipment to other countries. So from that perspective, I think there is some relationship between the use of grains for biofuel and world food supply, world food shortages.